Welcome to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. This is not your typical financial radio show. As a licensed CPA, insurance agent, and investment advisory representative, Chris coaches his clients on a holistic view of financial well-being with an objective of providing a complete financial strategy to fund life's goals. Chris is here to guide you down the path to the financial serenity you deserve. Now, here's Chris Cooper.
All right, folks, good morning. I am sitting in studio today with a very special guest, and I'm going to say he is one of the only electricians that can accomplish some of the feats we'll talk about today. But Nathan Goff with Extreme Electric. Nathan, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
And I apologize. It's Extreme Electrical. A couple of letters. It makes a difference. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, you feeling pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, you wake up every morning. It's every day is good.
So, folks, the accolades that I was talking about here is, I don't want to sell you short here. 480 miles on a bicycle from Mackins, which is the start of the Katy Trail in the Missouri, St. Charles area, all the way out to where it ends, which is Clinton for the non-cyclist folks out there. And not only do you do this, that's only, by the way, how many miles is that one? 240 miles. So that was always a goal for Nathan. Nathan decides that that goal isn't good enough, so he just does the whole thing that way, solo, by the way, and then just turns around and comes right back. And how long did this take you?
40 hours and some change.
40 hours and some change. So if there is an electrician listening to this that has done that, please let us know, because I think that you are the only one that I can think of. So...
yeah.
Kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you're feeling okay now? All spry and
had a couple days sleep. I'm good to go. I'm ready.
So, all right. So Nathan, so Extreme Electrical. So talk to us a little bit about Extreme Electrical.
Well, I'm co-owner, part owner with Extreme Electrical, Caleb Hunter, and his wife, and then
also an incredible cyclist in his own way.
He has been putting his time in.
Yeah.
He's getting fast. And then my wife, Mandy, we own Extreme Electrical Contractors. We've been around for 15-ish years and started out with Caleb and myself doing basically everything, the bidding the work, doing the work. And then Mandy was in the background doing the insurance and all the paperwork, the stuff that we couldn't do. I mean, I can barely write, let alone take care of all that stuff. And it's grown to 30 plus or minus employees.
Okay.
And we do the gamut of work, residential, commercial, directional boring. We got Ameren-sized bucket trucks. I mean, I can do parking lot lights.
Now, directional
lights.
boring, is this the fiber line stuff now?
So we can do a lot of fiber work.
Okay.
So it's underground excavation. So we can go under roads and through the yards, through parking lots without trenching. So it's minimal excavation.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? I think so. That'll work.
Yep.
So, all right. So now 30 or so employees. And now I got to think, you guys, as when you set out to be electricians, there's probably a lot that goes into it that's behind the scenes, that it's not just electrical work all the time, isn't it?
Oh, well, for the electricians, I guess, yes. Big story, you just hand them a set of prints and go do the electrical work.
Yeah.
On the back side of it, we're networking, which is kind of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
We're finding the work, organizing it, making sure the material's there. There's insurance and bonding and permits.
Right.
And in St. Louis County and St. Louis City and St. Charles City and County, there's municipalities within each of those. I mean, we're insured and bonded to death,
So each municipality has its own separate codes and all those kinds of things as well.
For the most part. Some are the same, but they each need to be bonded because they all want their money.
It's always about money at some point in time, isn't it? It's kind of crazy.
So there's a lot behind the scenes to keep up on, and luckily our wives take care of that, because that is not it's not what I am good at. So we've, just like everything else, you got to have good people around you to make you look good.
Sure. So family business. So now Caleb's wife works with the business as well. You just mentioned. So Stacy works with us as well. So I'm fully understanding of how it works when you work with your spouse. So who's the boss in your companies?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah. The wives usually are, right? Otherwise, yeah, because it does come home with you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not going to say it doesn't. There was a time, I had to learn to I'm out and about every day. I get to talk. I'm talking to you now. So I vent and get stuff off my chest. And,
sure.
She's in the office.
When you're out and seeing the jobs and all that kind of stuff too.
And so she would want to come home and vent to me, and I didn't want to listen to it. So it took a while it took a little bit for me to understand, just let her talk and then we'll get on with life. So yes, it does come home. But it's good. We've got a great relationship, and we do biking and racing and traveling together, and love it. So I wouldn't change it.
No, it's crazy. It changes when you work with your spouse. It also changes some of the dynamics in everyday life too, and for the good and for the bad. But I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Right.
It's really an interesting thing of what it does for you.
You learn that it's okay to sit in a room and not talk.
Yeah. Well, I'm just exhausted. Yeah. Right? It's okay.
We're good.
We've already had these conversations. We don't need to make stuff up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I know you're a big part of the community, and a lot of what you guys do as well is support some of the community, and a lot of what you do is also in the cycling community.
Yep.
Being a big cyclist yourself. So some of the things that you're involved in from the cycling community.
Well, so way back, it kind of started with Caleb and I enjoying mountain biking.
Mm-hmm.
We had a extreme electrical cycling team for a few years and had 15 guys in there, where we were paying for them to do all the local events in the UFD, which is the United Federation of Dirt. And that's the local series. And then that kind of grew into, we moved on to momentum cycles. And I helped promote a race at Indian Camp Creek, which you guys are going to help out with this year as well.
Yeah, we're going to be sponsoring that as well.
Some adult beverages.
Yeah.
And this year, all the money raised, 100% of it will go to Southside Cyclery or Southside XC Devo team. So it's a development team for U23.
Yep.
And so right now they've already got a couple races in. We can go really into the weeds with points and everything, but it's a national series, and these kids are really doing good. It's for kids who want to go further, go into college, maybe be pro.
That's awesome.
Cycling. So all the money raised will go to Southside.
Fantastic for the team.
Yeah.
Now, how many registered racers do you typically see at this thing?
Last year we had 320 plus or minus.
Pretty big event.
It's a good event.
Yeah, it's a really good size event.
We'll have food there, beer, some other vendors for advertisement. Lou Fuse Automotive will be sponsoring food, so every paid racer gets food.
There you go.
Support Lou Fuse.
It's a very big event. It's really done well. So I know you put a lot of heart and energy and really sweat and tears into it as well. So make the course look really good. So.
Yeah, every year the race comes, I'm like, I'm not doing this again. And then the day after, it's like, hey, let's start planning for it. So,
well, we have a really good park system in St. Charles County.
St. Charles County Parks is great.
They do a really good job. And, I like government being involved in certain types of things, and taking care of our parks and is part of it. That's what our community is all about. So
get out to the new Kinetic Park. It just opened up.
Yeah, a lot going on there. Yeah, really cool stuff too. So, so I know that part of that, and this is a part of the community, and you enjoy that as well. So, do you think it's important for businesses to be involved in the communities they're part of, in their own right and way? Right? Everyone's different.
So I mean, we kind of brought up the cycling. When Caleb and I first started, we had our trucks were stickered Extreme Electrical Contractors, which is, and I guess kind of a funny story about that. I'll just say it is, our vehicles have flames on them.
Yep.
When we first started, I'm like, there is no way we're going to do this. And, you got a business partner, so you can't fight about everything. We're like, hey, let's put flames on it. And that's been a great, it's a branding, right?
Yeah,
and
it absolutely is. I can tell that truck without seeing and reading your logo. I know that it's yours.
So we would drive down the road, and cyclists would call and say, you guys had bike racks on the back of your trucks. I want to support a cyclist. So I believe companies need to look at advertising outside of the box.
Right.
It's not just, which we are very involved in, the St. Charles Regional Chamber, the O'Fallon Chamber, Cotterville Chamber. We do a lot. But that's in the normal networking box.
Sure.
We do a lot outside with the cycling.
Yeah.
And I don't really have a way to track it unless we're asking, hey, how'd you hear about us?
It's hard.
But we get a lot of work out of that being cyclist and
Right.
promoting the race. And we promote, some cycling teams and sponsor them. So, and it is good to give back. I mean, that's what I enjoy.
Right.
And it's the future. These kids are amazing.
Yeah.
And I try every day to beat them, and they laugh. So
I don't. You as well. They don't. The races are. If you go longer, you're going to get them. I think.
Well, yeah, we were talking earlier. It's a mental deal. I'm not as fast as I used to, but mentally, I will go until I'm the last one.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
Well, and the Katy Trail is well-known trail in the area. Great conduit to a lot of different local things, but it is very unforgiving. You are pedaling the whole time.
If you stop,
it's tough.
Yeah, if you stop pedaling, you're not going anywhere. So you got to pedal.
Yeah, and it's a mental grind because it's pretty straight, scenic in places, but for the most part, it's not very scenic.
No.
So we live in right next to the river. St. Charles County, Weldon Springs area is probably one of the most beautiful places of it.
There,
So,
I mean, yeah, it's hit and miss. I mean, there's a lot of farm communities you go through. I mean, but you do hit some, along the river where you see the river. There's some hidden gems of massive houses.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, like, how do you even get to this place? But there's some nice houses. I mean, it's pretty cool.
yeah,
I mean,
it's pretty neat. I've always talked about wanting to do that, but I'm not going to do it one day like that. I like to just enjoy casual kind of things.
Right.
So, all right. So you have a partnership is really how you're set up.
Mm-hmm. So
when you guys established your partnership, you mentioned what's it like working with somebody that you don't always see eye to eye on, but right, you have to kind of work through some things. So like you mentioned, like the flames, but that seems to have worked out with your logo.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be lying to say if we got along and we agreed on everything.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the short story is at the end of the day, it's a give and take. Just like, I mean, we are married. Like I am married to my wife, but the Hunters and the Goffs are married.
Yeah.
And so there is a give and take. And fortunately, at the end of the day, it works.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, I mean, if we walked in the door, we'd probably go a different way. I'd go right or left, and he's going to go the opposite way. But at the end of the day, it all works. So sometimes I just say yes to something I don't agree with, and he does the same thing.
Kind of pick the battles, so to speak, right?
You got to pick them. So,
yeah.
But like I said, it's good to have a partner because he does a lot of things I don't want to do, and vice versa. I do the things he doesn't want to do. So, and then if neither of us want to do them, it takes a little bit to get it done.
Well, you kind of find where your expertise is at times too,
100%.
right? And sometimes the passion drives that expertise as well.
Yeah.
So, because if you're the business owner and there's something that has to get done, who's going to get it done?
No one.
Yeah. Well, unless it's you,
unless
right?
it's us.
Unless it's you. So, that's the way you have to think about it. And sometimes you just got to roll up those sleeves and, I'm a procrastinator, so I get it. Right. But that's okay. We gotta knock it out. Right. And that's the good thing and the bad thing.
Right.
Right. So if somebody's out there thinking about starting their own business, what kind of advice would you give to them?
Well, I mean, do a lot of research in that area, in that business you want to be in.
Do you think you have to be passionate about what you're doing?
Well, I guess yes. So we we hire kids straight out of high school.
Yep.
Some of them were flipping burgers yesterday, or some of them went to Lewis and Clark, which is a local trade school out of the public schools here. And I tell everyone, all the kids, that this is a good learning experience. I can teach you to be an electrician, but I can't teach you the want and desire to be better.
Yeah.
And so as a business owner, you need the want and desire to be better at whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because nothing's given to you. So you are going to have to go out and find the work and do the work.
Yeah.
And it's going to be okay that your hours of operation aren't 8 to 5. You may be up at 4 a.m. and you're working till 10, and that's just the way it is.
And it's always on too.
100%.
Even, it's cool because sometimes we have some flexibility in our schedules every now and then. But even the flexibility in your schedule, you're still thinking about stuff.
And you're talking about the flexibility. When I was an hourly employee working for another electrical contractor, I had time. I had to be at work,
right,
100%, because it was their time. And what was nice is my kids got older and I was able to go to the basketball games and this and that. And then I went back to work, but I was able to take off or pick the kids up from school or whatever, but we all went back to work.
Yeah.
And so
that drive and that discipline, because at the end of the day, if you're running a company, job's got to get done.
Right.
And you can only, and it's not like you can just say, oh, somebody else will take care of it. No, you're that somebody else. And it's taking out the trash. It's doing the books. It's understanding the finances. It's everything. Marketing, like you mentioned too.
Right.
I think when you started your electrician work, you didn't go, oh man, I need to think about marketing. You know, it's crazy, but you have to.
Well, you have to, and it doesn't come natural to some people.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, Caleb, that's a branding, a marketing deal, and I didn't see it, but that's probably one thing we probably wouldn't be around. I mean, it's a marketing and branding that is just stuck.
And it works.
So,
and I think that's a big deal. You got to kind of follow what makes sense for you and be passionate about the things that you're doing. Right. Now I know that you are also involved in other companies as well, kind of a little bit of a serial entrepreneur in your diversified portfolio of companies, right?
Well, as we grow, you know, we've got, I'm going to throw a number out. It could be right or wrong, but
it's okay. We won't fact check you.
Perfect. Let's just say I got 30 service vehicles out there.
Yeah.
Well, when those service vehicles need to have an oil change or tires or whatever, I have to send an employee or two to drop that van off, and then I'm out of van and I got to pay them to come back. So there's 2 to 4 hours of drop offs that I'm paying for.
Sure.
So when we moved,
you're paying for that service as well.
We're paying for the service as well. So when we moved locations, we purchased a building large enough to put an auto shop in.
Okay.
When it started, we were just going to have an auto shop for us. So
well, you got one customer down.
We got one customer. And so what we did is we hired our first mechanic was a mechanic that could do diesels and hydraulics, which would take care of our boring machines, our bucket trucks, and then the general maintenance on vehicles, oil, tires, engine changes, whatever it needed to be. So we didn't stop there. We have 5 bays, got 3 mechanics, and we're open to the general public. And now we're busy enough that we can't take care of our own vehicles. So, but we get that all done. But so, yeah, we brought that in-house, which saves a lot of labor.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone as far as to save labor on, they fill up gas, our guys, for the most part, you know, if they're out and about and need gas, but I mean, we got gas in the back of our shop that's where you fill up with gas.
Okay.
So, you know, trying to save a little here and there, and not that we still pay the same amount for gas, whether it's in our back or the pump, but it's labor.
Right.
So,
yeah.
You try to look for ways to save money.
A little bit
every
different,
corner.
right? Yeah. A little bit different thought process that goes into your mind. You're like, well, I'm spending this and I could bring this in and do this. And, you know, next thing you know, it's a whole different venture.
Right.
So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, the auto shops, it's Salt River Road. Actually, on our building, it's the only sign on there. We don't advertise Extreme Electrical, but it does say Salt River Automotive. We're busy right there on Salt River, and we can take care of anything you need there.
I love it. Well, that's a great, easy location from lots of different areas as well. So, all right. So then you also have some rentals as well, is what I understand, in some pretty cool areas from a cycling perspective.
Yeah, we've got and so this is outside of Extreme.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people, and I know you're doing, you know, wealth management and a lot of 401ks, which we have and we do, but we also have a few rental properties. One's in Taneycomo and Branson. It's right on Taneycomo Lake. And then we have 2 in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Okay.
So, and they stay pretty busy.
Yeah. Well, Bentonville's a pretty cool area from a cycling perspective for sure. Beautiful community.
Yeah.
Really is a pretty cool community.
I wish we had Walmart money up here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Walmart money goes a long way to building cool trails.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And they're doing great.
They do a really good job.
Yes.
And it's really changed that whole dynamic. It's created a lot of tourism as well for a lot of the businesses out there. So, and it all started with, Walmart money. It really did.
Well, one of the sons enjoyed to cycle.
Yeah.
And so it's good.
created a vision too. That's just really cool how that all worked. Who would have thought? Because now that is really a mecca for in the entire country. It's like not just a Midwest thing. Like
right.
I think that eventually there's going to be a Olympic mountain biker that is going to be a Bentonville, Arkansas guy.
Oh, so, well, the USA Cycling has moved down there.
Yeah.
Kind of another deal we do, adventure racing. Their headquarters moved from South Africa to Bentonville.
Really? Did not hear about that.
Bentonville is bringing in a lot of people.
That's pretty
and
cool.
Back in the day, the reason there's some larger companies there is that if you sold or distributed, I hope I'm saying this right, distributed, you had to have an office in Bentonville.
For Walmart.
For Walmart, yeah.
Walmart was very big about that. Tyson, that's like there's so many companies, moving companies, a lot of transportation companies, not moving companies, but there's all kinds of companies that are out of that northwest.
Northwest.
It was Northwest.
Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, geez. So my geography's off today.
It's still Arkansas, but it's Northwest.
Yeah. So
they still park in the front yard. It's okay.
But it's crazy. There's a whole town built on basically Walmart, multiple companies. So, but a beautiful, beautiful area. So, I always tell people it's interesting. There's a lot of people that want to think about getting into like rental properties and things like that. It's a full-time job, and you are a business owner at that point in time. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier. I think it's very different to take risk on an investment. Rental property also comes with another hidden risk, and that's cash flow risk. And it can be really serious at times. So,
you got to make sure everyone pays you. There's different reasons for renting. Some is you may be short-term rental because you're moving or building a home.
Right.
Some is you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're needing to rent a house.
Right.
Or maybe you don't want to mow the yard and you want to, you need an apartment. So, it's getting paid every month and making sure they're paying their bills, and sometimes they get behind, and so a lot of risk there.
Yeah, it is, but it can be very enjoyable as well. Yeah. So, especially if you get to go visit some of the areas that you like to be a part of. So
that's kind of how it started.
I figured so.
Well, we did an expedition, something I guess everyone can look up, but adventure racing is kind of like a triathlon through the woods. It's all map and compass work, but it's triathlon, meaning 3 disciplines. Main is running, biking, and paddling.
Yep.
My wife and I were on a 5-day expedition race. It ended in Bentonville, but we were on I think it was the Mulberry River. 4 a.m. in the morning, hallucinating, and we said we need to buy a house, and so we kind of started looking for a house in the area.
That's how it all starts. Some kind of passion thing, right? Like vision.
right. So,
it stuck the next morning, so it must have been a good hallucination.
Well, I don't think we thought about it anymore until later, but we're like, hey, we thought about buying a house down there. So it's a cool area. It's great. Yeah. And we're outdoor people.
Yep.
We love outdoors, and there is a ton of outdoor stuff to do.
Yeah.
It's great.
All right, so you guys do residential and commercial with Extreme Electrical, 30 or so contractors now.
Employees. Electricians, yes. Residential wise, we will do remodels, whether it's a kitchen, bath, basement, full house. We do custom builds. I don't go in and do like a track home where you're going into the neighborhood and there's 50 or 100 homes going in, but we do custom homes. Commercial, we pretty much do the same thing. You have an office space that needs to be remodeled. We do that. Yeah. We do ground up builds. We've done banks and restaurants. And everything else. As far as we can do parking lots. And we really got into the boring through the parking lots.
Yeah.
We can, parking lot lights. We do all the concrete, set the poles, everything.
Okay.
We've done, as far as big lights, stadium lights, we did the Kinetic Park lights out there. So
I did not know you guys did that Kinetic Park. That is a beautiful, really cool park there.
So we can do, we did it around the pump track. They just did another phase 3, I think, and we didn't do that, but we've done some work. We've done a lot of work out there. But as far as big lights, we can do stadium lights. We've done some high school lights, so we can do anything electrically that needs to be completed.
Yeah. Now, and how long ago did you start?
15, 16 years.
15, 16 years. Looking back, would you have thought that you would have gotten to where you had 30 employees and doing some of these kind of jobs now? Was that the goal?
I mean, yeah, it was the goal. No, do you think like I'm going to have 30 employees?
Yeah.
No, but when we take pride in doing good work,
yeah,
we've got great electricians, we've got our project managers. And so when you have people doing quality work, the referrals come in.
Right. Take good care of people.
Whether we are doing networking or not.
Right.
And, when you can't keep up, I need to hire more. I need to get another project manager. I can't do all the quoting. I can't do all the foreman and the project management. So, we've got 5 project managers and they do a great job.
That's awesome.
And they want to do a good job, which is a big deal. And
well, when you take care of people, good things tend to happen.
We try.
Yeah.
We do our best.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know I'm looking forward to your upcoming race here over at Indian Camp Creek. So thank you for coming in and being part of the community. And Nathan, rest up, man. You've earned it.
We're ready for the next one.
So, all right, bud.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. All right, what an electrifying show when we think about business ownership. There's a lot that goes into it. It is a fun experience. It is not for everybody. There are a lot of things you have to think about. We are the ones that are responsible for pretty much everything. At the end of the day, you are the CEO. You are the person that has to take out the trash from time to time, do the payroll, all of these things, figure out how to run the books, and quite frankly, save for the retirement in the future as well. These are things that are important to think about. Yes, it can be fun. You can make sure you enjoy the journey along the way. In fact, I think it's important. Most of the businesses I talk to that do find success, find that success because they're part of the community they serve. The community outreach is incredibly important. Making sure you bring people in and engage in that passion, which drove you to business in the first place, right? You have to be passionate about the things you do in life, and it has to be resonated with the community you serve. If you don't bring that passion, well, quite frankly, usually you don't see those results, right? Because if you're not passionate about what you do and you don't see dedication to deliver the best service, well, quite frankly, your customers, the community are going to see that as well. And fortunately, with Extreme Electrical, we've learned how important it is to give into that community, that spirit, that engaging philosophy, and quite frankly, give back as well, right? Nathan does a lot with the cycling community, and I see it firsthand each and every year. A great event he puts on, and it doesn't just stop there. He supports a lot of different causes. He's out there in the community doing, quite frankly, crazy stuff. He must run on some of the electric work he puts in to the businesses and the residences that he serves, because quite frankly, it's a lot. It is definitely a lot, but it is important to make sure you find that thing that makes you tick, and that relates to fitness, it relates to business ownership, it relates to that community and that effort that you put into things each and every day. Even if you're working, right? When you put good, solid effort into your job, it shows respect. It shows results, right? You get the results you're looking for. And quite frankly, that leads to success. And I think that's very important to take into consideration. So businesses aren't for everybody. Business ownership isn't for everybody, but making sure you have that right team in place, doing the right things that matter, right? In a tax efficient way, right? Are you saving for taxes? Saving enough money in a tax efficient way, right? Retirement objectives are a little bit different as well, right? We have to think about things differently. We have to plan for things a little bit differently. A lot of times business owners have most of their capital tied up into the businesses. And quite frankly, it makes a ton of sense. If I'm looking to where to invest in my future, I want to do it with the CEO that I know the best. And quite frankly, that's myself. I can hold myself accountable, right? It just kind of makes sense. So we are a little bit more strapped from a financial perspective because a lot of our businesses are tied up into assets that are in our business. It just kind of makes sense. But that doesn't mean we don't want to plan. We have to think about things. We have to plan for things. Maybe we have to think about how we serve 401ks for ourselves, for our employees, right? How do we think about ways to provide for our employees to maybe lower our turnover, right? Save for our retirement, right? We want to stay diversified, right? These are things that are important to do. We want to do that in the most tax efficient manner possible. But it also involves planning, right? If you have a partnership, is your buy-sell agreement funded? And if you don't know what a buy-sell agreement is, reach out to us at Serenity Wealth. We are happy to help. We do this all the time. It is very important to understand how to fund a partnership effectively for those what-if scenarios. Okay, so important conversations about business planning start with a good, solid conversation. Reach out to us, SerenityWealthNow.com, for more information or give our office a call. Happy to see if we can put you on the path to financial serenity you deserve.
Serenity Now! This is Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Request a free copy of Chris's latest book, The New Holistic Retirement, by visiting SerenityWealthNow.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors, LLC.